Oh. Wait.
Whatever I just did. T, we got sound now, right? We got sound now?
Wait, give him a minute.
I know, I'm just asking. Like, of course, we're not saying anything now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying. Wait. When we weren't doing now, we must not have been having sound on Facebook because now the closed captions on.
So I think we've got sound now because it does say that the mic is going through.
And the captions on Facebook.
And the captions are on Facebook. So
the whole.
I don't know what I did.
So the whole.
Yeah, the whole thing.
They just saw us laughing and like.
You guys just missed it. I was bitching about how Tino actually wasn't here on time. So
I was here on time.
And he's saying he was, but he didn't have the key to get in.
And I had the key. I didn't have the fucking passcode.
He didn't have the 4-digit passcode to get into my house, and I wasn't gonna. Well, it's a good thing that after I gave that out over the phone.
Hell.
What?
Laura said, "Hey guys, you look good, but I got no sound. We'll try again next time." So we lost somebody. Wait! We got sound now.
Yeah, hopefully Laura sees that we've got sound now. I do apologize for the mix up. It's so odd trying to do the show like remote from time to time and then in person from time to time. And I was working on getting my Yeti to work, and it's finally actually working now.
Laura, come back.
Laura was actually the HR rep at GameStop that I was telling you about.
Well, tell her we got sound.
So, okay, I will message her. You start talking about what's up with you, Tino.
I don't see me, so all I see is what's up with...
Well, that's because we got the chat up there. I got to see the chat. There. How's that? Is that better? I got to see the chat.
You can still see the chat.
You know that there's going to be more chat in there.
Well, for now.
Than 2 words.
Well, when I'm done with what's up with me, I just want to see me doing this.
Would you start talking?
I had not much. I had a show this past weekend. This past Saturday, yes. I was at the Court and Untapped, the same place you were at a couple weeks ago.
The house
that you bitched at. It was an hour away. But the most interesting part of that. So that show is an early afternoon show. It's 2 to 5. Okay. Why at 2:30 is this lady? You sound great. You know that song. Bitch, it's 2:45. What? I'm just like, and she was like, so she stayed there the whole time.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, Tino.
The whole time, and then it was funny because, so guys would come because I was outside this time on the deck.
Where you actually normally play.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it was funny. Dudes will walk up. Oh, I guess she was cute. And they were like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she start talking to them. And they're like, "Nope." And they go inside of the bar. I'm like, dude, she was too far gone. Because at first I'm like, okay, she's a little tipsy. And they sit down and she... And the dude would be like, I see you today. And you go in and never come back out. And then she would go in the bar, and then the guys would come out and like smoke cigarettes or drink whatever. And when she come out, they put the cigarettes out and they go back.
Man,
I felt bad for
that.
her.
I used to work at Walnut Creek, right? When they would do the concert series.
I didn't know you worked at Walnut Creek.
Yeah. So when I worked at Jersey Mike's, now this is 20-something years ago.
Did I know you when you worked at Jersey Mike's?
Maybe right at the tail end.
Okay.
Maybe right at the tail end.
Because I remember Best Buy and AT&T.
Right, but even my first year at Best Buy, when they did the concert series, any concert that I wasn't working at Best Buy, I would actually go and I would work because it was different owners. Mm-hmm. So when I had quit, like the
because that back when it was Walnut Creek before.
When it was Hardy's Walnut Creek.
Yes. Okay.
So Jersey Mike's had a stand at it, and we had a couple different jobs because we would actually pour beer and stuff for it.
Jersey Mike's serve beer
at Walnut Creek.
But, okay, I didn't think at
Walnut
in the store.
Creek.
Okay,
no,
okay.
not in the store. So we would we would
I was missing something.
we would have the beer pourers, and then we'd have the sandwich hawkers, right?
Yes.
So the sandwich hawkers would walk out into the park and actually like $7 a sandwich or whatever, and like Jersey Mike's whole thing was that it wasn't a 6-inch sub; it was always a 7-inch sub, right? So you had to figure out like how to get people like interested in your sandwiches. So me being the jackass that I was, I'd start yelling out things like 7 inches of pure pleasure for, $10 or whatever it was, right? And people would be like, I want some of that,
Yeah,
get
like your attention,
and you'd come over and they'd be like, what kind of sandwiches you got and whatever, and the way that it worked was I think it was $8 a sandwich back then. Now it's $8 for a 7-inch sub from them anyway, but it was $8 and like it was $5 for the show, like for Jersey Mike's, and it was like $3 for me. Okay. So like there were nights that I'd go out there for 2 hours just hawking sandwiches and I make $200.
Damn.
Yeah, because I mean, like a Jimmy Buffett concert, like it'd be like, hey, like who wants a sandwich? 7 inches pure pleasure, woo,
drunk and high,
and and they're sitting there, they're like, hey man, how about we give you a beer and you and I'm like, I'm 18 years old at this point. And I know that I just made $7 from them, so I can pay for your sandwich. Yeah, I'll take that beer. So there was, but the reason why I brought this up is because like one night I was working the beer stand, so I'm sitting there pulling the beers for everybody, and this woman, swear to God, Tino, 4 teeth in her mouth, 4 chiclets. Okay.
How's she going to sell?
Well, she just wanted a beer.
Oh, okay.
So she comes up and she's like,
she gummed us up.
Well, maybe. I mean, you can chew a sandwich down to nothing. Yeah. But so she's like, hey baby, how about you buy me a beer?
A beer?
A beer, like VEER. And I'm like, I'm sorry, ma'am. And then
what's a beer?
And then a dude walks up, puts his arm around her, and goes, hey baby, how about you buy me a beer? And
you?
No, to her.
Oh.
And he only had like the 4 opposite teeth.
So together they had 8 teeth.
So they had 8 teeth together.
Beauty, like Lady and the Tramp.
and it'd be like a 3-dimensional Tetris thing or something. But yeah, so like they're sitting there like trying to hook up with each other, and I'm like, would you two just, if neither one of you got money to get a beer, would you get out of the way so I can pour beers for the next people? And then he like gummed something at me, and I was like, whatever, just get out of here. Like this is crazy. We can't have none of that. But yeah, so you talk about that woman that was super drunk or whatever. It's like I've seen it.
So here's another one, and it's like years ago.
Sure.
Another one. So I was playing at McGregor's Ale House over there off of in Cary.
The one off like Davis.
McGregor Ale House, is it off Davis?
I don't know.
It's somewhere there. It used to be a Wachovia right there beside. It's like in a little shopping center area. But I was playing at the bar, and these girls walk in. They had to have been like college,
sure,
or your college mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched these girls walk in, and as you know, we've had this. I don't know if we had discussion here on the show. Just because I'm on stage, I still hear conversations if you're close enough to me.
Oh yeah, everything.
So these 3 girls sat at the bar, and one girl, they might have been drinking before they got there.
Might have.
She looked around, and she goes, "There's some fine men in here tonight." Swear to God. This chick pulled out her birth control pill and popped it in her mouth. I'm like, even I know that's not how that works.
How do you know it wasn't a Tic Tac?
No, that was birth control because it was actual birth. I saw her open it up, and I was close enough to see.
Maybe she switched them out with Tic Tacs.
I was close enough to see where you had to break the seal to get that day.
Tic Tac, right?
Okay.
Is that what they're called? Tic Tacs?
I don't know.
The little candy.
Yeah, Tic Tac. It wasn't no Tic Tac. She was trying to get tack. Nailed, whatever.
Well, at least she had the sense in her to, try not to have babies.
But, I understand the morning after pill, but not like not the night before pill. Don't.
Maybe she went, hey, it's 8:00 at night. This is when I take it every night.
Right after she goes, there's some fine men in here. Pop.
Hey, again, all I can think there is that one of those commercials worked,
and then it was fake.
Yeah, so So you had a show. Anything else go on this week?
No. Just went back to work. Had a show.
You got a shot?
That was last week. I got the shot last week.
Yeah, but did you get it before or after the show?
I got it last Wednesday.
So you got it after the show?
After the show, the next day. So I had the shot. Oh yeah. So that was cool. I did the vaccine. Part one. And I got it, and like that, I got it Wednesday, and then Wednesday evening I was kind of dragging, and Thursday I was like, eh. But I never had the symptoms. The only symptom that came back from when I had COVID was,
couldn't taste,
loose bowels.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things?
Well, that's why I lost all that weight, because I would eat, but then I wasn't hungry, but then whatever I ate, it came back out anyway. So that came back, and then Thursday it started lumping up a little bit and getting red, and then Saturday's like, and then Sunday it started going down. You probably can still see it a little bit.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a nice little knot there.
Yeah, so...
That means that the person that did it doesn't know where to actually stick that.
No.
It means they put it in the muscle rather than trying to get it underneath the muscle.
And that's what she said too. She goes, it goes into the muscle." That's what she said.
Yeah, it's
because everybody I talked to has it, and Nicole, everybody has that lump.
Whatever the last shot that I got was, and like everybody was like, "Oh man, that shit hurts. That shit hurts." And I haven't gotten my vaccine yet. In fact, I'm hoping Wednesday.
This Wednesday.
Wednesday is the first day that I'm eligible. So I'm hoping that I can get on a list and try to get it before I go out of town on Friday.
Where you going?
Going down to Wilmington for Chris Edge's bachelor party. We're going down playing 3 rounds of golf. Apparently I might be the only one that's not in the family that's actually invited.
Oh, okay.
So get this though, I'm the best man at the wedding.
How the hell did you do that?
But because at this point I'd probably be your best man if you were getting married.
I'm already married.
I know.
Okay.
When you renew your vows.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Well, you can't figure out how to get the fuck in my house.
Wow.
But
yeah, that'll make you want me. Keep talking shit.
Oh, you know why I get picked to be the best man. It's because when it comes to speech time, I put a hell of a good speech together. But no, so
shot. Okay.
So I haven't gotten the shot yet. I'm trying to get the shot this week. I walked into a Walgreens twice this week and asked, "Hey, do you guys have any extra shots?" And they're like, "No." Even though you go
the extra shots.
Hey, everywhere that I've been, everyone I've talked to that's gotten the shot said you should just go up to a Walgreens and ask them if they've got extra. If they do, they'll give you one. Oh. So it's like a drug dealer.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like a drug deal. So, the first one's free. Mm-hmm. And then if you got the first one early, the second one's going to cost you. So, no, but, going out of town this weekend, going to hang out with Chris Edge and everything. But what's funny about it is that they've decided to go fully online with the wedding, and it's because,
coronavirus.
Right, because the wedding, I think, is April 10th. So not everybody will have been vaccinated by then or whatever. So I was like, I'm not even gonna be there. Like you've hung out with me and everything. Like, yeah. And he goes, family only, man. Like
How are you the best man, but you're not in the wedding?
Well, I will be. I'll just be on a screen.
Hey, so he's gonna pretend like you handed him the ring?
I don't know, man. But I'm going to the bachelor party.
Okay.
So and that's costing me an arm and a leg
to play golf.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, man, we're in our 40s. Like, I think Edge is 38, 39 or whatever.
You're like it's costing you an arm. Like, what? Where are you guys going? Like, what's so expensive?
So we're gonna stay in like an 8-bedroom place.
Got it. Okay.
So that everybody's got a place to stay in the place, right? So that I think is like $200 a person.
Okay. Per night. So you're there with how many nights?
Well, no, I think that's total $200 a person. But then the rounds of golf, it's like $70, $60, $60. Then you gotta bring your own liquor. Then you gotta bring your own beer. You gotta bring a pallet of water or whatever, because everybody's gonna be trying to rehydrate the entire time. So I mean, like, I was like, man, Chris, you're more expensive than a wife. Like, I know that I'm gonna be spending like $500 minimum to go on this trip. So your brothers are gonna spend $500 minimum. Your dad's gonna, and we've got like 10 or 12 guys going on this trip to play golf.
How long are you gonna be gone?
Friday, Saturday, and come back Sunday. So as far as I know,
liquor you need to take.
What do you mean?
So it's $200. You can take $300 worth of booze.
No, I said 3 rounds of golf.
Oh, okay. That's true.
Like $70, $60, $60. That's another $200.
Okay, I got you.
So that's $400.
Gotcha.
Then if I buy one bottle, it's $60 because I'm not going to buy cheap shit for a bachelor party.
That's true.
I'm going to buy at least one good bottle, you know, and then a thing of water is going to cost me $10. All the food I'm going to eat is going to cost me money. So I mean, it's $500. Yeah, it's $500. So and I don't mind, you know. It's.
Oh no, that's fun.
Hopefully it's a once in a lifetime thing. It's Chris's second, but but he's been with Alyssa for a really long time. I love the two of them to death.
Where's it going to be?
Cary or wherever, Fuquay or wherever they live.
Oh, I thought you.
No. We're going to Wilmington.
Okay, that's right. Okay.
Party. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we're going to Wilmington for the bachelor party. And we're playing nice golf courses. So as long as we've got good weather, it'll be a fun trip. As long as, you know, I can actually like do more than this. So, and then of course this weekend, you know, Zack Snyder's Justice League finally hits on HBO Max. Okay. You know, the 4-hour cut of. 4-hour one? Yeah, the 4-hour cut of the movie that everybody thought was trash the first time.
So what's different in this one?
So they kicked out all of the Joss Whedon garbage, you know. So all the sexist and
it's been so long since I've seen it. So
belittling crap that Joss Whedon's known for now. You know, the guy that created Buffy's a like piece of shit apparently. So that comes out, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier comes out too. I'm
so excited. Is that for sure come out this Friday?
That's Friday.
When does Good Boys? The Good Boys?
The Boys.
The Boys. When's that come back?
Boys is probably going to be, if I had to guess, like October.
I missed that show. He got me hooked on that damn show. I was like, it's over.
It's so fucking good. Well, the problem with that show is also what I love about it. They give you 3 episodes right at the beginning, so it's like, oh, I'm gonna binge those 3 episodes. Then you get done those 3 episodes, and it's 1 episode a week for 5 more weeks, and then it's done, and you're like, that was only 6 weeks. Like, what am I supposed to do now? Now, the cool thing about that show, though, is that they also did an after show for it where they actually interviewed her. So you can spread it out a little bit further if you watch the after shows after. And
I just remember, well, I'm like, I don't watch this show. Then I'll start watching. I'm texting you. What the hell is this? What the fuck is this? I just saw a penis.
You just saw like a whale penis.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell am I looking?
And then of course they you know, talking about that show, they did this moment where they talked about like on the after show where the creator of the show was talking about how dolphins have a very high sex drive. Okay, so when the Deep, the guy that's like the Aquaman character, for those that haven't watched it, when the dolphin is trying to have sex with him, and he's like, no, I don't want to have sex with you. Like you're a dolphin, I'm a person, just leave it alone. But it's because in real life, dolphins have an extremely high sex drive, so they wanted to add that joke in there, and they were like, "How do we make this work? How do we?" And they finally just snuck it in. And the first time they did it, like the editors were like, "No." and they were like, "All right, we'll fix it. And then they didn't do shit.
Fix it, yeah.
They just left it in there. So they used an old Dennis Leary trick. So Dennis Leary used to be on Rescue Me, but before that he had a show called I don't remember what it was, but it was a cop show, and it was on ABC.
Was it NYPD?
No. He wasn't on NYPD Blue because it was still a comedy, but it was.
I know what show you're talking about. I can't think of it.
Yeah. So he was on a cop show before that, and it was like he was like the first show that got away with saying the word bullshit in that show, and they put it in the episode like 7 times. And
he said bullshit 7 times.
Yeah, and the editors came back and they were like, you can't say that 7 times. So they put an 8th one in there, and it got past them the 2nd time. So Dennis Leary would do shit like that all the time just to get like words like bullshit on the air, and of course it was in the same time frame that like NYPD Blue was coming out, and they were like, oh, we could show nudity, we could show Dennis.
Now they say shit all the time on shows.
Well, they do, and it still has to be, the show still has to be, I think, TV 14 to get away with more than one instance of saying like shit or whatever. But you know, like just a couple weeks ago, MVP said it on this is bullshit, Shane.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, What the hell? What?
But they say it all the time on AEW.
Well, they do, but that's because it's TV 14. So WWE's TV PG, so they're paying a fine every time that comes out.
But I think they're trying to.
They're trying to spice it up, and if I had to guess, I would say USA Network probably isn't charging them the fine. They're probably taking the fine because they're the ones saying we want darker content, right? We want it to be a little bit spicier and everything else. Folks, if you're in the chat, don't be shy. Say hi. Tino and I look like we're just having a conversation with each other. You know how we like to do this. We like to actually involve you and get you to be part of the show. And with that, I don't really have a rant or anything.
Here we go.
I don't have a rant or anything, but folks, I think it's that time where Potsy. It's not a rant, but I haven't made a new graphic yet for the GameStop story of the week.
He said disappearing manager.
So yeah, Tino, I don't know if I've ever told you the story of my disappearing boss.
No, I gotta hear this.
Yeah, so
like abracadabra?
Like Houdini, this guy.
All right, cool.
David Copperfield making a truck disappear, okay? Like
yes. Katie!
Oh, Katie picked just the right time to show up.
He just started the GameStop store. He just introduced
I'm calling it the weekly rant because I haven't changed the graphic yet, so bear with me on that. But so it's a fun story. I used to have this boss named Chris, and this one I'll actually give the real name to because we're not sure where he is.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, well, he didn't come back.
Well,
I thought he disappeared and you found it.
No.
Okay, here we go.
Gone. Okay.
All right.
So at one point I got put in two different stores, right?
All
so
right.
I was working at North Hills and I was working at Capitol Boulevard. Now I can tell you, there are not two more different forms of customer, like based on the clientele.
So North Hills.
And
what was that one?
Capitol Boulevard.
Okay.
Capitol Boulevard is everybody walks to the store, takes the bus to the store.
I can see
they
that.
bust out the windows, and North Hills. North Hills is like you have to have $100,000 in your pocket to be able to even walk into the shopping center, right?
That's where you were, man. It's just you're like.
yeah. It's literally like a 2-block thing of $80,000. You minimum of $80,000 income to live there.
And just to get to your stores, parking was a bitch. I remember that. I used to have to park way over there and walk.
They at least did that thing where they parked, where they had the parking underneath.
Yeah.
Because they were smart. Because nobody in North Carolina ever thinks about parking first.
Nope.
They always think about it as it's like man, we just built this entire giant ass stadium and everything else. There's gonna fit 80,000 people into this motherfucker, and you know what's gonna happen? Wait, we're not gonna have anybody here because there's no way to park. Or if
they do, they charge you $20 to park.
Or now they charge you $20. So yeah, fucking PNC. and now they want to put fans back in the stands so that they can make $20 a person. The next thing's going to be charging per person in the car.
Oh no. Yeah. What did the old like hide them in the trunk?
Yeah, exactly.
They're popping out. So
I had this boss named Chris. And Chris was an all right dude. He moved here from like Arizona or something. Was promoted to district manager, and all of a sudden he got put in charge of me. And at this point, most people feel like the regional manager didn't like me at that time. So they were trying to do whatever they could to get rid of me for one reason or another. And I was running 2 stores. So like if you get rid of me, you got to put 2 managers in to take my place, So anyway, Chris was the district manager that was never in his office. And his office was designated as my Capitol Boulevard location because it actually had an actual office space for the district manager. So it kind of felt like Chris got told, you got to be there every day. Because we gotta catch Rob in the act of doing something stupid and get him fired. So Chris literally had to show up every day that I was at that store, and he would show up every day. And what he would basically do is go into his office, open up his laptop, and he'd watch a movie on one TV screen, and he'd look like he was trying to do work on the other TV screen. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but
watching you on the cameras probably.
No, because the camera's in the other side of the back room. So like he could. But, whatever. So, I went through my heart surgery and everything else, and I was at that store when all that happened. So, after all of that, like, Chris actually became kind of cool with me. Because he realized how hard I was working. Mm-hmm. Here's a guy that just had heart surgery, and he's still busting his ass for it. He's not taking time off. He's not, he had to take 2 months off because they pretty much told me you can't go to work, you can't even stand. So, but after that, went right back to work, started doing my job again, was running the 2 stores, and just busting my ass on everything, and Chris went ahead and changed out the 2 TV screens that he had. So in the office, he had about a 9-foot space, and he put 2 42-inch screens.
Oh damn!
Up, okay. Now the ones that he put up were like, actually one of them's right over there because he gave it to me.
Oh.
Yeah, so remember how I told you my boss gave me it? Well, there it is, right there.
Okay.
So he switched them out with like LED screens, still 42 inches, but now they were like 4K and and top of the line for when he bought them. Went over to the Best Buy, used his Best Buy card, did all that, put them up, started hanging them in the office.
For what though?
For watching movies and doing whatever else he was doing. Because he got told he had to be there all the time I was there.
Okay.
So it's not like
he can go anywhere.
Yeah. So anyway, like, Chris started going through this physical transformation, okay? And what he started doing, it was weird. At first, he would only eat once a day. So he always thought he was fat. And honest to God, I think he was manorexic, okay? And anorexic, but, it's more known as a disease that affects women. But I think that he became enamored with his physical look, and he just kept thinking he was fat and whatever. So he dropped down to where he would literally eat a Chick-fil-A sandwich and a Coke a day, and that was it. All day, right? Got himself down. Dude looked like he was like 130 pounds at this point, right? One day I see him, and he's just eating green beans out of a can. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I changed my diet again. I only eat 3 cans of green beans a day now. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? 3 cans of green beans?
Just cold on and heat them up.
No, like he would put like wasabi sauce and stuff like that on them so they would have flavor, but would literally just eat like 3 cans of green beans. And then the dude, like, I mean, I don't even know how he was able to hold himself up because like he was just skinny, right? And still he's like I'm still not at the weight I want to be. I'm still not at the weight I want to be. So he would sit there and he would just eat less and less and less.
They ate like a cheeseburger and flies. He's going.
But yeah, well, you just have the he'd have flies and stuff.
Yeah.
But
the view shared by Rob Potcheck is not.
Hey, I was just using the joke from Coming to America right there.
Anyway, go ahead.
So Chris got to the point where like he started acting weird too. Okay.
Because the bitch was hungry.
Well, at one point he built. You know what? I'm saving the built the desk story for another day. But
no.
Yeah, I'm saving it for another day. I gotta have stories every week, man.
You better write it down because you forget and be pissed.
I think I did write that one down, right? So anyway, he was divorced, had kids, all this other stuff.
Before he started eating like that?
Oh, he was divorced like shortly after moving here and stuff. Okay. So like, rough situation with that. I don't really know about it, so I'm not going to really go into it or give an opinion about it. But all of a sudden he started saying stuff like yeah, I'm getting myself looking good so that way when I have to see the ex or whatever, like, she's gonna know what she's missing, that kind of thing. Whatever. That's all fine and dandy.
If you look like a string bean.
I mean, that's all he ate, so
right,
he was what he ate at that point. But so one night I come up to the store because I either got to close or something. I had split time between the 2 stores. I go over there and he goes, "Rob, I'm so glad you're here. Come outside real quick. I got to show you." And I'm like, okay. So I walk outside. And he bought a van, okay,
and lived in it down by the river.
And there were no windows on the sides.
Oh, he bought a pedophile van.
He bought a rape van.
He bought a Chester van.
So and it was one of those tall vans. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, that's cool, I guess, right? And he's like, yeah. Can you give me a hand? And I'm like, what do you need a hand with?
You got a body.
Not yet, apparently. I'm like, yeah, what do you need a hand with? And he's like, well, I want to move my office into the van. And I'm like, I want to move the office into the... What the fuck's he talking about? Like, move the office?
No.
What's he
No.
So he's got...
No, Rob, no.
So in the van, he's got a generator. And he's mounting the 2 TVs up in the van.
That's why they're so tall. That's why it's so tall.
I swear, Tino, motherfucker probably put a futon in there. Because a day later, okay, I'm not fucking playing nothing. A day later, he calls the store and he goes, hey, Rob, everything else that's in the office is yours. I'm out. He left, you know, I've got this really nice printer right here. He left a really, really nice, like, photo printer and everything. Like, he left all of his managerial books, everything.
TV, obviously.
Well, no. The TV he gave me before that. When he switched out to the new TVs, he was like, well, I don't have any need for this. Do you want it?
So what all did he leave for? You said you could have it. What did you...
I mean, like I said, all of his manager books, all like the printer, and anything else, like all the little tchotchkes and stuff. Like, you know, like some of the stuff was probably his. Yeah, just everything that's in that office is yours now, right?
So he didn't get notice. He just...
So I don't know, because later that day while I'm at the store, other store managers start calling. Hey, have you talked to Chris? Yeah, he gave me a printer. What? Yeah, it just said I could have the printer. What? Is he still here? Like, said he moved the office into the van? Like, I already thought the dude was crazy, so I'm like...
Rob drove this dude crazy.
I'm like... Dude left his fucking printer. That's it. You know, he's gone. Okay. He had bought, like... He had bought, like, those like, you can work the lights from your phone and stuff. He'd put them up, and they were all gone. So he took all that stuff with him, because he had to put it in the rape van.
This motherfucker's down 40. Like, hey, baby.
I don't even know.
We're at a rest stop.
So, no, I think what he did...
He went back to Indiana, or wherever he came from.
I think what he is doing now is living in the woods somewhere.
Down by the river. He's in a van down by the river.
No. I think he knew... Because this was 4 years ago. So I have to think that he was already planning for the zombie apocalypse. Like, that's why he got himself to where he could only eat green beans. That's why that's why like he bought a generator and he had everything that he needed to.
I think he just snapped.
Totally. But that's the kind of person that goes down and buys a gun, and then lives in the van. And you could say down by the river like you want all you want, Chris Farley. The fact is that this dude is probably still driving across the country A-Team style. So he was a Marine. So it's possible that this dude is literally eating a thing of green beans and he's pulling the Punisher. Like, just driving around being like, reading the newspaper going, oh, this motherfucker got off? All right.
That's some scary shit.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing that. Hopefully found himself a nice job and everything else, but he's off the grid, man.
So nobody's heard from him since?
Nobody that I know of. Like,
so when they were asking if you heard from him, they were like...
I was like, yeah, talked to him about an hour ago. Said he gave me the printer.
I wonder why everybody started calling him around.
But no, because everybody else, and Katie can vouch for this, they don't know how to do their job. Mm-hmm. So they're always calling the district manager. So when they can't find the district manager, they call the district manager's office.
Gotcha.
Right? Gotcha. So like 30 phone calls in like the next 3 hours, and it's like literally, guys, ring your shit up. That's it. Just do your job. Like, you don't need the district manager to tell you how to ring something up.
Well, yeah, apparently they do.
So that's the story of the disappearing manager.
Don't forget about the desk, because
I think it's on the list. Let me see.
Because I want to hear that.
The boss that built his desk with power. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah. So that one is on there.
I cannot wait. That might have to be next week. I can't wait. You're gonna put next week on that.
Well, I gotta come up with more of them too, because like right now there's only like 3 on the list. But
that shit was so funny.
So for all those people that are GameStop people out in the world right now watching our show, don't be shy, say hi, and tell me, wasn't that a great story?
Give Rob a pat on the back. Wasn't that a great story?
Well, I mean, you know, like this is tough to come up with one every week.
It is.
Like I almost thought about asking you, what was your first job?
McDonald's in high school.
All right. So I know you got some stories about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not just going to be Rob's stories of the week.
I'll give you one right now.
All right.
It's one of my favorite stories. You've heard this a million times. So, I'm a smartass. And this little old lady. Kate said, yes, that's odd.
Yeah, that's odd.
This little old lady came into McDonald's. And she ordered. She was looking at the menu. And she goes, I want 10 cheeseburgers.
Oh, yeah, you did tell me this one.
I want 10 cheeseburgers. 2 of them without cheese. Okay, so you want 8 cheeseburgers and 2 hamburgers. No. I want 10 cheeseburgers, 2 of them without cheese. I'm like, yes, ma'am, that's 8 cheeseburgers, 2 hamburgers. Is that what I ordered? See, when she did that, that's when I snapped. That's what I'm in with. I said, okay. So I turned to the bin. I pulled out a hamburger and a cheeseburger. You probably knew where this was going. I unwrapped them. And I opened them up. I said, what is this? And by this time, my manager saw me. He knew what was up. And he's trying to make his way out the back office before I could do anything.
And you know he's sitting there.
Yeah, he is trying his best to get up there before I go off on this lady. Because he knew what was coming.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, what is this? And she's like, it's a hamburger. I said, what is this? A cheeseburger. So I took the cheese and I flung it over my shoulder. I said, what is it now? A hamburger. So what do you want? 8 cheeseburgers and 2 hamburgers. And then by that time, the boss, he made his way up there. He's like, I'm going break. you go to the back.
But what makes me laugh every time I hear that story, because you're right, you have told me that one like 7 times now. And every time I hear that story, the rationalization goes through my head. Because, you know, like, I think about this stuff all the time at my new job. Like there always seems to be, and God, I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying something like this, even though I don't think anybody out there knows that I do this show. But like, and it happened at GameStop too, okay? So I'll use it as a GameStop situation, which is like, the district manager would be in your store, right? And he would notice something wrong. And he would immediately go, hey, do me a favor and email out to the group not to do that.
Why can't you do that?
Well, and here's the rationalization for me. Immediately, I think the amount of time that it took you to tell me to do it,
yes,
you could have went,
yes,
and had it out there to everybody already. So you made it take twice as long, right? Now, you want to know why? Tim Showers is in the chat. What is up, Tim? If you are not following Tim on Instagram, he has amazing artwork. TM Showers on Instagram.
Okay.
So anybody out there, there's your plug tonight, Tim. You owe me $1. But
Damn.
Hey, we should be able to make $1 off of plugs. Like oh, you want? While Tino's right, we want to go ahead and while we're doing plugs, support the show, buy a T-shirt. So anyway, I figured it out, like, because I was talking to somebody a lot smarter than me about this, right?
Okay.
The reason why they don't want to send the email out themselves,
they don't want to sound the asshole.
They don't want to have to worry about all the repercussions and everything from it. So they give you all the responsibility to do it, so that way it has to come back to you, and then you just report back to them, hey, it's done, right? And then if something happens to go wrong, it all falls on the person that had to send out the fucking email.
Yes.
So
yes.
So No, seriously, Tim's got some awesome artwork out there. He's got Tim uses black light paint on some of his pieces, so like it'll look like one painting, and then when you put a black light on it, it will suddenly have like something else in it.
Oh,
it's freaking awesome.
You gotta show me that when we get off here.
So I'll have to show.
Cool.
Yeah, he.
I'm trying to picture in my mind. That's weird.
It's basically like you know how I do some of the glow in the dark artwork.
I was going to ask you, but then you said you shine black light on it. It's a different picture. Yours is the same. So it just glows in the dark under black light.
So most times it's still the same piece of art. Like I don't know if he could have like ha 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 or whatever. If he did a Joker piece and have ha 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 show up in black light and everything else doesn't. I don't know if that's how it works. I'm sure there's some type of ink that would probably do that. But yeah, no. Tim is a wonderful artist out of South Carolina, and a good buddy of mine. He's already doing comic shows. I'm gonna have to
South Carolina, yeah, because they're probably opened up.
Because they're opened up for everything, it seems. Speaking of that, Carolina Fear Fest, we're probably doing that one again.
Is it back? I mean,
supposed to be in mid-May. So.
Yeah, because he's wanting to have everybody vaccinated
by the 1st of May. Yeah. So we're and at that point, as long as I'm vaccinated, I don't care. I'll do the show. You know, like I'll still wear a mask. Heck, I'll probably bring some masks to sell. You know, like cool. There'll be the junior high horrors masks or my immortal mask that I've got over there or whatever. But
I want to buy some of those junior high horror masks just so I can have to wear them. Something different.
They're like $12 on the same website.
All right, check it out.
So yeah, that just always trips me out when I think about the work thing. Like, you know, because one of the first things that I was asked when I took this new job was hey, if you find ways to streamline the processes on things, let us know. And
oh yeah, he's gonna buy a shirt.
Awesome. But yeah, anybody watching the show right now, check out his stuff. Anybody else that wants a plug, I'm more than happy to give plugs for people that I've seen the artwork and everything of. You know, we plug Katie's GameStop all the time out in Apex, North Carolina.
Because it's closer to my house. Like literally, I'm like 8 minutes away.
Yep. And every time I walk into her husband's store, they don't want to wear masks, so I don't like going in there. So.
I tried to walk in on Katie when I went to go. No. So when I went to go, when I was supposed to go out with you guys that last time, and she was mad, so I went to go buy the Spider-Man, so she forgive me. I walked in with my mask, and she knew exactly who I was. I'm like, oh damn, I thought the mask. You can't recognize. Nope, she knew who it was.
No, you're pretty recognizable because you're always wearing the hat. You're always wearing something similar to that kind of shirt. You know, not quite.
I think that time I had my hat on my ECU gear, and I had my hat pulled down.
Yeah, but you know, it's not like so it's not as noticeable as Kevin Smith wearing a hockey jersey everywhere. But you know, like you're pretty recognizable, man. Like me, I'm recognized at this point just because I'm literally becoming a pear. Like I don't even know how to lose weight anymore. And make him.
Yes, she did.
And made him renew his pro card.
I thought Rob did it, and she's like, no.
I bet it wasn't expired, and I probably was like, and I'm quitting anyway, so who cares?
See how he did me? Get him, Katie.
I gave her the numbers.
You gave her what numbers? For mine?
Yeah, everything's all about numbers at GameStop. Oh. So if I was
yeah, I was mad. LOL. But you forgave me.
Yeah, I don't know if her husband's yet forgiven me about everything, but
well, he ain't mad at me, so
yeah, I'm not worried about him being mad either.
Wow.
Yep. So Katie, how was Disney World? I noticed some pictures without masks on. I hope you were eating.
Oh. You can call her out.
I call out everybody for not wearing a mask in public, man.
You just gonna call her out? She gonna be mad at you now. You gonna have her and your husband mad at.
Katie knows I still love her though.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Tino, know that you wanted to be off here by 9:30. We haven't even started.
What is that?
It's a pen.
Oh,
it's a ivory colored pen. Oh. So it's this skin tone basically.
No, that's not even ivory.
No. That's about that.
No, the pen's ivory, but you're probably not.
Well, I don't know. It's this color. Yeah, it's about right.
She said absolutely awesome.
Did you were there any great drinks that you tried? Did you try the blue milk?
Blue milk.
Yeah, so the Star Wars land actually has blue milk now. Disney's super strict about masks.
I heard they even have vending machines with masks in them to charge you $2. A friend of mine said she went down there and they had a vending machine.
It would be smart for them to do that.
$2 for a mask.
Although I wouldn't even do that. I'd be like, make it a $10 mask and put Mickey Mouse's face on it. Mm-hmm. You know, or at least just the bottom half of Mickey Mouse's face, because you're already wearing the ears.
Yep.
You know, like how do they not think about that type of marketing idea?
They probably do, like in like...
Oh, in the stores they've got masks.
Yeah,
but they don't have anything where it's like the bottom half of the mouth to go with the Mickey ears.
They might.
No, they really don't. No. They really don't. But well, I'm glad you had a great time. I'll actually be headed down there next month, so I didn't see any vending machines, but they were literally masked. Yes, there are people that if you're not wearing a mask and you're not... So here's how it works, because we went for the Food and Wine Festival when they were only letting like 25% of people in the place. So what they do is you literally have to stop somewhere, take the mask off, and either eat or drink.
I think you told me that.
And then put the mask back on when you start moving. So like you can't do the whole take the mask off and eat while you're walking.
And that's what she was saying.
Yeah. Watch the lady chase down a guy walking and eating a turkey leg at the same time. Yeah, no, it totally happens. And it should. Because you go walking by somebody and you cough or whatever while you're sitting there eating and you pass along the coronavirus to the next person, like that's your fault.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it goes as far sometimes as where someone's like, I don't care if I have it, and they start trying to cough on people. Mm-hmm. Like I watch SVU. I know that if someone knows that they have AIDS and they go out trying to spread the disease,
they're going to jail.
That's attempted murder.
Yeah.
So.
But Rob, they had 6 feet markings and lines. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
they do that in stores now too.
So they do have 6-foot marking and lines and everything. The neat thing about that is that they've gotten rid of the fast passes because they need the space for the queues. So to make everybody be able to spread out 6 feet, and half the people don't look at it, half the people don't listen.
That means the lines are long, or the waits are terrible again now. They don't have the fast pass lines, right?
Actually, like because they still have limited on the amount of people that can go in, it's not. It's bad, but it's not. It's not unbearable.
Mine zigzag only get a foot of space in between.
Well, so Katie, that's not exactly true, and that's where I kept getting caught in the no man's land on the lines, was the fact that like if you had a zigzag of it, they wouldn't let you go here, here, here. They'd have one here, one here, one here. So in a 3-row thing, you might have space and be like, oh, you can move up, but you can't move up there because there's someone standing here on the other side of it. So they don't let you do that. No, again, that's what I was just trying to explain, is that Katie, for those out there, just said COVID doesn't travel sideways. Well, it really doesn't. It only travels out your mouth. So but the thing about it is that if you have 3 rows and normally you'd be like here, 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 here. Right now it's you're here, and you're here.
Got it.
Because you can't have a person in the middle row and a person in the left row and a person in the right row. So you can only have one of those spaces being filled with people. Now, people don't listen.
No.
And people like to push their way up and make the line shorter, which still doesn't cause it to go faster. Although I did hear now they're starting to do where the rides aren't skipping rows. So, like, when you go to get on one of the rides, you're going with someone behind you, but they might have a plexiglass thing in between. Which I'm still okay if there's plexiglass. So again, the side-by-side stuff is because people aren't actually looking at where the lines actually tell them to go. So unless they've changed it since I was there in October, which I doubt, but they may have dropped it to 4-foot lines instead of 6-foot lines.
No.
Just, and then of course you got people with kids that just let their kids run wherever they want anyway.
You're not talking about Katie, are you? You done pissed her husband off, now you're gonna piss her baby off?
and the grandpappy and.
You had her whole family pissed at you.
No, they know I speak my mind. So anyway, we haven't even started.
Let's do it.
All right, folks. It's that time where we start talking pro wrestling. So we would like to keep you here. Chris Barrett is in the chat now. See?
What's up?
See, you wanted to know where Chris Barrett was. He showed up right as we're getting ready to start pro wrestling talk. And we're going to start...
Oh, that's a new one.
We're going to start with AEW.
AEW. So.
Which, by the way, I made a joke when everybody thought that the surprise might have been Kurt Angle. Mm-hmm. That they would have to get used to him saying...
AEW.
AEW because he can't say the letter W anymore.
Double E.
Double E. AEW is what I said.
Who else used to say that?
Great Khali?
No.
Ranjan Singh?
No, is it the Russian dude? Was it
Potsy? Koloff?
No, I got a picture of him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Boris something.
Boris Volkov. No, Boris. No, I thought it was Boris Volkov.
Vladimir, the one that
Vladimir,
the dude that was part of the Legion of Doom for a little bit.
Tax professional.
Oh yeah, on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
The dude was part of Legion of Doom for a little bit. The big Heidenreich, yeah. He used to say double E.
Yeah, so Kurt Angle just can't say the W anymore. So when the whole idea that came up that, he was showing those videos trying to make it seem like it was going to be him, I was like, everybody better get used to saying AE because he can't say W anymore. And I don't know what happened. Did he almost bite his tongue off or something?
Double.
Is Joe out in there in the chat so he can tell us whether or not Kurt Angle bit off half of his tongue? Kurt Angle's too busy making money off of his chicken snacks. Yeah, he did actually start a food line of snack food.
Who is?
Zukov?
No, Katie.
Oh, she said, sorry, I'll have to go back to listen. My ASL called me. It's okay, Katie. We're getting ready to start talking pro wrestling, but ASL. Assistant manager.
Okay.
Assistant store leader.
Okay, I was like, what happened? Okay.
I'm sure there's some derogatory term for ASL too, but I don't know what it is. So we're gonna talk AEW.
AEW.
And if we start off where we should start off with Matt Jackson versus Rey Fenix. Heck of a match. And I in my article this week for Mainframe Comic Con, the Gorilla Position, I brought up the fact that I was swerved by the end of the show. By the way, so I gave props to AEW.
Oh my god!
And I never give AEW any props. Mm-mm. So we'll get to that. But Rey Fenix versus Matt Jackson. The only thing I didn't like about it was I didn't know who to cheer for because they're both baby faces.
I think.
I would
more of a twin, more of a tweener.
I would actually choose to cheer for Rey Fenix. Because I think that the attitude that the Jacksons have is just kind of douchey.
But 2 out of 3 of the Death Triangles, because Phoenix and Pac are obviously faces, but the brother, Pentagon,
yeah,
I think he's heel. So how does that dynamic work?
Nah,
you know what I mean? So that's something. Are they really face?
And okay, so we're gonna talk about babyface and heel. Let's go ahead and just jump right in. We'll say Scorpio Sky versus Darby Allin.
Well, Scorpio's got a new attitude though. He started having that last week.
But he came out through the babyface tube.
But when he
and
left,
Tony Schiavone mentioned that he left through the heel tube.
Yep. And
it's like really that's how we mm-hmm. make sure that our audience knows that he's a heel now.
Well, that's obvious every week. The heels come out that one too. The tunnel and the babyface come out of the other tunnel.
And
they go back in the tunnel.
I wouldn't be surprised if he leaves SCU and joins another faction.
The Dark Order.
Sure.
I don't think he's going to join that. I don't think he's joining that faction because that faction's full.
He's not joining the
one you got swerved on. I don't think he's joining that faction.
I think he might.
There's too many people. They're trying to make a 4 horseman light.
Well, it's already 4 horsemen heavy.
Yeah.
So Yeah, and then of course the main thing that you have to talk about. This is okay. Let me explain. My article for Gorilla Position this week was basically talking about how you took the team that went against the tag team champions at the pay-per-view and were in the curtain jerking match of the night. So the first match of the night, lost that match. Yeah, the Young Bucks and Jericho and MJF lost that match, and then the Inner Circle is the main event of the very next show that you do. Now, I have a problem with that because there's no way that a guy that opened a show like on the pay-per-view where you're wrestling, it's not like you're given an angle or anything else, you're wrestling, that you go from curtain jerker to main event in 3 days. There's no way.
And we're talking about the asshole, but if I went back online and looked, they said it looks like it was a slow burn in the making. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna tell you about that too.
What, in the episode?
No, just over the past year, if you paid attention.
Oh no, yeah, totally. Yeah. And it goes all the way back to
when they were betting.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Jericho, we mentioned last week on the show, Jericho loses the match for the tag team championships. Later on, they're being interviewed by Marvez, and Jericho basically says we're gonna have a talk, and we're gonna make some changes in the Inner Circle. Gives MJF the little dap, gives him the dap, okay. and then because MJF's like, yeah, we're gonna have to make some changes to the group, and then of course we all just thought, okay, Chris Jericho's getting kicked out.
Yep.
Okay, so even my article, this is why I gave props to them, because they took what we thought was going to be the case, and then they gave us the double swerve.
Because it almost looked like it was going to happen.
Yeah, because MJF made it look like he was going to have Santana and Ortiz turn on that. Now, what if all three of those guys had turned on Jericho? Would it now be a faction of 8 fucking guys?
True.
Because it doesn't sound like MJF was aware that they weren't going to be swerved.
Good point.
But he had a second plan.
Yep.
Right? So like a good heel, like a good neighbor, State Farm was there. They juked and they jived, and MJF pulled the big old swerve. And Tino,
my favorite part of that though was they were about to turn on Jericho, and then they all turned on MJF, and here's Jericho. You really think we don't talk? And which is true.
So, yeah.
And number one, it was on the video.
Yeah.
They showed the video of him doing that.
Well, that was Sammy sitting there saying, "Hey, check out the video."
Yeah.
Right. But I just watched Justified. Okay, and this is what I broke it out to, which was in Justified. Walton Goggins, the guy that's in everything now, he's now in that show, the Unicorn on CBS, which apparently takes place in Raleigh.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I'm gonna go back and start watching.
Yeah, didn't realize that. But he was in Justified as Boyd Crowder, and at one point he sits there and tries to get the guys that are holding guns to his face, and he's like, what do you guys want for it? You like how do I talk you guys out of this so that you can turn on him and you come work for me instead? And like the bad guy comes back in, and it's like, all right, you guys gonna shoot him? And then they turn and they look at their boss, and they're holding the guns up at him. And then he's like, you really don't think that we talk about this stuff very much? And then they turn the guns right back on Boyd, and I'm like, they did the Justified thing right there.
So I didn't watch Justified, so I didn't see this. So.
Which is totally fine because it hadn't been done in pro wrestling yet, right? Like this was a swerve on top of a swerve,
yes,
on top of a swerve, because the first swerve was MJF getting the Inner Circle to turn on Jericho. The second swerve was Jericho getting the Inner Circle to turn back on MJF, and then the third swerve was obviously when we saw the other guy, or is Billy Gunn going to join the NWO? I mean the Inner Circle with Matt Hardy and Chris. I'm going to tell you what I hear. The rumor...
They got Sammy back.
The rumor is that Christian and the Big Show could be joining the Inner Circle. So...
But Big Show's going to be commentating, so is he going to do... I know he's got his wrestler. They got
Chris Jericho commentates. Like how often is MJF's group going to be on Elevation?
See, and that that pisses me off.
That's NWO, is what it is.
And it pisses me off. Because once again, you have all these young guys that you're not even fucking using. You got them around the ring, but you're gonna bring in these older.
But hold on,
WWE guys.
hold on. Big Show or Paul White and Christian were both tag team champions with Chris Jericho in WWE.
Yes.
So they have history. They have mutual respect, and now that they're going to be a babyface group, they gotta have star power. So I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, and I'm not even saying that it's really going to happen, because they've already shown what we thought was going to happen ain't always going to be what happens. The Inner Circle's still around. They only lost 2 guys that were the outlookers looking in anyway.
Wardlow and MJF.
And the entire rest
of they got Sammy Guevara back.
And Sammy Guevara's back. So the entire group is back together, right? The way that we remember them.
Yes.
So could they add another member? Sure. They should probably add a female. You know, and MJF's group should do the same. So Chris Barrett says, I mean, at this point, the Inner Circle is the new World Order. Every time someone was WWE joins AEW, they're going to join, just like the NWO. That's not true. That's not true. The only one that came from WWE that is also with Jericho in this group is Jake Hager.
Yep.
Everyone else has been homegrown talent.
Well,
you know?
no, because
Santana and Ortiz came from AAA.
And Impact. They were an Impact.
They were an Impact because they were part of what's Big Mex's group, Conan's old group that they used to LAX.
LAX. I can hear the theme song in my head. That's what I was like,
Yeah, except I'm always thinking, reach for the sky.
Yeah.
You know, so, but
that's the Briscoes.
I know.
Yeah.
And you threw me off there. Which never happens, by the way. Even if you pop me, I'm still able to go right on. But you got me right there.
Yeah.
So great show from AEW. Absolutely stellar show.
And to see who, because we didn't sell them. Well, if you haven't seen it, the group is now MJF. I guess is going to be the leader.
Yeah.
You got FTR. You got Sean Spears. There is
Wardlow,
Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, which means Jungle Boy is going to be part of the Inner Circle.
Oh God!
Could you imagine? No. Think about this.
Need to do something.
Think about this for a second. Like Jurassic Express joining the Inner Circle, you wouldn't know which theme song to sing.
This is true. And if they blend them together like they did with MJF. Oh, that would be cool.
Oh. Yeah, Judas. Yeah. So,
and Jungle Boy can work his ass off. I just that gimmick though. I mean, it's working now, but I don't think it can sustain.
And it's Luke Perry's son.
Exactly.
Like that's just crazy. But you know what? As good as AEW was, Tino, as good as it, because it was a good show.
They could not top.
It was a
show.
good show.
Until I always watched this one first, and I watched AEW next.
I watched AEW first because I watched the pay-per-view Sunday.
Okay.
And it allowed me to just skip through all the commercials on NXT. Holy shit, man. Like okay, the night starts with Regal saying, I've got 2 major announcements. The 2 major announcements, like, blow the roof off the place,
yes.
right?
Yes.
And the 2 announcements are, fuck Adam Pearce and the WWE Tag Team titles for women.
Which I called.
Well, yeah, but that was the rumor out there anyway. So
I called it before the rumor.
You read it somewhere.
No, I called it before the much as you sit here and try to pull WWE's listening to you. Fuck you, I got one this time. Bastard.
WWE still got that smart mark watching our show. But they then announce a 2-night event that starts Wednesday night before WrestleMania. So your NXT on Monday night or Wednesday night. And then Thursday, so Takeover, Stand and Deliver or whatever they're calling it. The first night is a regular Wednesday on USA Network. The Thursday is on Peacock.
I was looking at that though, so I'm wondering. So it's going to be 4 hours then. So it's still going to be a 2-hour show both nights.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. So, but I have to assume all titles are on the line. I have to assume that based on the show that we saw last Wednesday, that they are going to have to do something miraculous to top what we just saw, because I'm telling you right now, Finn Balor is on a motherfucking roll like I haven't seen anybody on since Adam Cole, right? Adam Cole was doing this before him, and now I'm suddenly thinking, there's no way he could be Karrion Kross. There's no way. But let's go through this show. Like we start with Toni Storm versus Io Shirai. Toni Storm, like
on a show, dude.
Like
I thought she was gonna take it.
Well, and I mean, she hadn't ever lost to Io Shirai before this, and Io Shirai figures out a way to win. And I don't know how, because when she came down to the ring, she was drunk off her ass. Like looking like a Japanese bushwhacker.
That's like damn Asuka.
No. Asuka.
Yeah, she's drunk and high when she comes down too.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's high.
Yeah.
Like she's sitting there on acid or something, just watching the shit happen. But Io Shirai comes down and she like and just acting all weird and shit, like she just hammered a fifth in the background. Oh, I know. But once again comes out on top. Mm-hmm. The tag team titles are handed to the winner of the Women's Dusty Cup, and they're like, we're gonna hold these titles forever. And then what happens?
Ember Moon and my girl Shotzi came out and challenged them, and Regal says, "Hey, go for it."
Sounds like a great thing. Let's do it.
And they lost.
Now, did you notice who did not show up on this episode of NXT? Because the entire women's division was there, and you know, they showed the entire women's division.
Rhea.
She's not there anymore. They're showing the videos for her on Raw now.
Yeah.
No, and it's not even women that I'm talking about. Cameron Grimes didn't show up this episode.
To the moon. He's one of my favorite parts of the show. I didn't realize that.
I think that they're doing the right thing by going, okay, we might have overdone it last week, so we're not going to do it at all this week. So people are going to want more.
Yeah.
Right. And heck, dude probably put more money into GameStop over the past couple weeks. Stock's back over $200. Although it's on sale right now for 20% off if you bought it before today and then today. But so we got Shotzi and Ember Moon taking the titles from them after they flat out said,
we're gonna hold these for a long time.
We're gonna hold these like nobody's ever held the title before. You know what? You're right.
20 minutes.
You lost it in 22 minutes. like I don't even think Kane, when he won the world title, I think he held it longer than that. So okay. But then we get Finn Balor versus Adam Cole. Now, this is the second time we've had Finn Balor versus Adam Cole because the two of them fought each other to take the vacant NXT title. So I love the storytelling with that because the guy that had to be stripped of the title, Karrion Kross, nowhere to be found during the match. In fact, we get 1980s Kyle O'Reilly to come out of nowhere, wearing his cut-off jean jacket, his faux hawk, and like I don't. Is he gonna?
I like when he ripped the armband.
Oh yeah, like I said, storytelling wise, like him coming up, you know, because Adam Cole still was wearing the same gear from when he won the title.
Yes.
And that they made that known right at the beginning, so you knew they were going to do something with it. And then Kyle O'Reilly comes down, and as he's beating the shit out of him, takes that armband off of him to say, "You're not undisputed anymore. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm not undisputed. You're not undisputed, right?" And then of course they had to have all the backstage referees come out to stop him.
That was my favorite though. Finn never looked back. And he said,
Finn's just standing there like this. And did you notice that the people in the crowd, because they do have like that 75 people, there was no added noise coming in for when Finn was standing there, and you know that he was standing behind him. Like they had such a good camera angle. I wonder if when they went to commercial break and came back or whatever, they told the crowd no noise, like no extra noise, because we want it to be a surprise that when that Finn sits there and goes, "What took you so long?"
Yep.
And then he turns around and there's Karrion Kross, and Karrion Kross is like, and then Finn did the fingers, and all you hear on like Busted Open and everything is them like that was ballsy as shit, because if I was Karrion Kross, I'd have grabbed those arms and I would have destroyed you.
All he did was tick tock,
Yeah. Oh,
I think
easily. So easily.
But you still had the comedy because you had where Gargano was talking to Austin Theory. He's like, you know what? He said, you don't have good abs. That's it. He rips his shirt off. He wants to fight him now because he said he didn't have good abs.
So I'm going to say easily.
Yes.
The best 2-hour wrestling broadcast of 2021 so far.
It went by so fast. I was mad when it was over.
It did not feel like 2 hours.
No.
You had 3 championship matches. You actually had a title change hands. You had suspense. You had storyline telling.
We had the women's tag.
We had the women's match. We had the tag match, and then we had the Balor's match. Tony Storm versus Io Shirai was for the title.
That's right. Forgot about that.
So I mean, like, hands down, easily the best 2-hour wrestling broadcast of the year, and that is over what is typically our favorite show of the week, SmackDown. Which, let's go ahead and get right to it. Let's lay the smack down. Show once again starts with Roman Reigns coming down to the ring, Tino.
Every week we do.
And I'm okay with it. I'm totally down with what they're doing. Tommy Dreamer held the OG ECW longer than they held the tag.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Chris Barrett. Always fun having Chris Barrett in the chat. In fact, I haven't even been able to catch up on half the stuff he's talking about. Jungle Boy did what his father never could. Act like he knew what he was doing.
Terrible.
Wow.
Terrible.
Okay. Yeah, but Jungle Boy still has a long way to go before he makes as much money as his dad did. I thought Wednesday was on the network and Thursday was on Peacock. No, Wednesday's on USA. Thursday is on Peacock.
Why do you keep doing that?
I don't know. It's fun.
Look, anything that WWE does pay-per-view wise right now will top AEW's last pay-per-view.
AEW's last pay-per-view was good. Don't get me wrong. The whole pay-per-view was fine except for the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And
I went back and watched the pay-per-view, and then that match was phenomenal until the end.
That match, Tino, was what I used to love watching in the 90s.
Yes.
And you know what? I don't necessarily like watching it anymore. I don't like seeing these guys get barbed wire stuck in their bodies and shit anymore because I know the toll that it takes on them.
But if you do it once, like they were doing it all the time back then. This was like a one and done. I'm thinking.
So yes, I think that you're right. I think that this match between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley is going to be the last time that they do something. I mean, you can't top well, you could have the explosion go off correctly, but you can't top a exploding barbed wire death match. Like
no.
What do? A scaffold match with an exploding scaffold?
No, because you want to fall off and break both your legs like Cornette did. Dumbass tried to land on his feet. What's wrong with you?
Motherfucker! Break my knees! Broke both my legs, motherfucker! So, double cheese! Hamburgers!
Double cheese, motherfucker!
Anyways, Roman comes down to start the show, and I mean, it's just money. Like, the only thing on this episode of SmackDown that I didn't care for, and it's probably going to surprise you. You ready? The KO show.
That was kind of weak.
But I'm going to tell you why, okay? One, these two women lost their opportunity to win the Women's Tag Team Championships, and yet they're getting another shot for no reason.
No, I think the whole Reginald thing, Reginald...
But it's no reason. It's no reason as to why they should get that tag title shot this time. They already lost, right? Sure. The Reginald thing was actually pretty funny, although I don't need to see a man doing a fashion show. I'm sorry. Especially when the two women that are part of that fashion show as well are Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. If it was Carmella sitting there saying, "I'm going to take you out shopping, Reggie," okay.
But she's just sitting there. I mean, what?
I still have eye candy at that point. You know, not to
me,
watching, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Her facial expressions. Well, that's what made that bit.
And I want to talk about talking smack after the show this week too, because I don't know if you're watching that now.
I didn't watch.
I watch it on the network on Sunday mornings just because I've got nothing else to do in Sunday mornings because I don't have ESPN. So anyway, we get another impassioned speech from Daniel Bryan. We get Sami Zayn being probably the unsung hero of the show. We get Big E.
Oh my God!
Now, last week people down or talked down about how Daniel Bryan screwed up multiple times during his impassioned speech. Right? It's live, folks. It's gonna happen. The Rock had to write down shit on his arm so he'd remember it. Like, don't think for an instant that these guys don't get jitters when they're trying to go over this stuff from time to time, right? So this week we have Big E kind of do the same thing. He flubbed a couple of times, but like when he got going,
oh my God,
and he pulled out the untouchables when he was like you send two of ours to the hospital, we send two of yours to the morgue.
Yep.
You know, like you step on my lawn, I blow up your house. Like I'm like this dude, like he is on the verge of just having something pop, and when it goes off,
and that's what they were
get out of the way.
That's what they've been saying all along. The Big E needs that side, but then you also, like I said, we watched that thing with Big E. Said he wants to be able to still be himself and have fun, and still have that serious side. But I think this point in time, there's no time for fun, Big E. This is what he needed. This is how he needed to respond, and how he needs to go into this match.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt. They you don't want to see Briscoe and Patterson do a fashion show. Yeah, it's Chris Barrett's definitely right there. I don't want to. It's especially since. Never mind.
Don't.
Yeah, no.
Don't. It's too soon.
I thought about it.
I know you did. Don't.
And then I didn't. But we get that moment with Edge talking to Daniel Bryan this week.
Oh my God.
And I don't know if it was posted in our wrestling group, but I saw it in a wrestling group where Edge is looking at Daniel Bryan, and the meme basically says, "You're not better than me." And he's pointing at Daniel Bryan saying, "You're not better than me." And then there's a picture of Stone Cold Steve Austin like he's like, "Are you sure?" You know, and the whole time I'm sitting there going, Daniel Bryan is sneaking his way into the main event at WrestleMania. And
I'm trying to figure out if he's doing it as a heel, though, because some of that, and I can tell which one. Some of his promo and some of Edge's promo had heelish. So I'm trying to think of,
now we know who the heel is.
Roman. So
both of the other guys just gotta outwork the other guy, and like Daniel Bryan sitting there saying, it's not the fact that I've wrestled more often in the last 3 months than you have since coming back. It's not any of that stuff. It's that I'm better. I should get the shot because I'm better at this point in our careers. And any way you look at it, like I know that they can pump in crowd noise for the Yes movement. I know that when Edge comes down and his music hits, they can pump in crowd noise for that. And at WrestleMania, you're going to see if Daniel Bryan is not in that main event match and it's not a three-way dance, you're going to hear the 20,000, 40,000, whatever fans it is, sitting there cheering for Daniel Bryan. They're gonna be calling Daniel Bryan, and it's because the one thing the WWE crowd knows how to do is sabotage the show.
Yes,
and they will sabotage the show.
Usually it's the night after WrestleMania, but they will take control of WrestleMania if they have to, because they booed the shit out of Rey Mysterio. And that one, Daniel Bryan was supposed to be in that one too, right?
Well, he wasn't. That was the whole thing. That was the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
That was the Royal Rumble, and at number 30, Rey Mysterio, for the first time in his career, got booed. Probably the only time.
Is that the one? And isn't that the one with Blue Tista won too? So they got pissed that whole night. So it was Rey Mysterio was they didn't want, and then Batista won it, and they didn't want that. Because
Daniel Bryan was in the steel cage match in the very first match of the night.
Yep.
Yeah, and he was wearing the trash man outfit.
Mm-hmm.
So So Chris Barrett says 45,000 are supposed to. I know that's what they're saying. I don't know if Tampa's going to let them put 45,000 people into the stands. I don't think so. Although it is a baseball stadium, so they probably could spread 45,000 people out to do it. I love the fact that now they know what they've got with Edge. So they're getting Edge versus Jey Uso, and I love the interaction between Edge and Jey Uso, where Jay's like, yeah, man, I remember that, and then all of a sudden, like when Edge tries to get him to turn on Roman, he's like, man, you can't talk to me like that.
Yep.
You ain't my family. You don't know how my family, like, you don't know what's going on here. My shirt says I'ma get him. That's what my shirt says. I'ma get him. So I love popping him.
Like, get him.
Well, that's what his shirt says.
I know.
I'ma get him.
I know. Well, I'm a person. So you a get him?
Yeah, apparently.
I'm a get him.
Apparently. So it's Florida. If they wanted to fill that stadium to the brim. No, you're absolutely right. But with word coming out earlier today from Dave Meltzer that there's been another COVID outbreak in NXT.
Really?
Yeah. Lots of people got it, is what they're saying.
How the heck? Well,
you get one person that gets it. You get them in a ring. You have one of those women standing in that row have it, and suddenly they all could have it.
Yeah.
You know, and that means that everybody else that they're working with in the Performance Center could have it. So while I totally agree with you, Chris, the fact is that
I want to believe in next week.
You mean Wednesday?
Shit, yeah. Oh, damn.
Like, if that's the case, I think we're going to see a lot of call-ups to NXT.
Or call downs.
I think. Well, we're going to get LA Knight.
Yeah.
In-ring debut. So I'm okay with that. Overall,
to the moon. He'll be back.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't on this week, so he's probably safe. They'll be bringing Kevin Owens down, Sami Zayn, Fandango and Breeze will be back because we haven't seen them in a while.
They were here last week.
Were they?
Yeah, because they jumped. Because remember?
Oh, that's right. They jumped they jumped some people. Anyways, so
MSG came down in the astronaut suits.
Yeah. So with that, I was thinking I don't really care about Fastlane.
I got one more thing to say about NXT, and it didn't dawn on me till just now. What association did Thatcher have with Imperium? Because he kept saying
he was a member
of Imperium.
Yeah, back when it first started.
I didn't know that. Okay, that makes sense.
That's why when he started speaking just plain old English, I was like, I thought he was with Imperium.
Thatcher.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like.
So I didn't know that.
I think he started in NXT UK,
mm-hmm.
and then but he's from like Boston or something. Yeah. So like I'm like, why is? But
makes sense now. Okay.
But yeah, he as far as I know, he was in Imperium, and that's why Tommaso Ciampa, who's now letting his hair grow out for some reason, like
don't do that.
He should just shave his head again.
Yeah.
You just see him sit there week in and week out, be like, I already made my decision. I know I'm against him. It's up to you.
Yep.
You know, and like, I wouldn't mind seeing Thatcher go up against Walter. Yeah.
I think he's going to turn on Ciampa.
I think so too. I think that I don't know if they necessarily got the reaction that they wanted from that tag team, or maybe they specifically wanted it as a short-term tag team so that they could really try to beef it up for when they finally split again. But Chris Barrett, I would love to see Sami Zayn in NXT week in and week out, but he's too good of a talent to be there, and he has cemented himself as the number 2 heel on SmackDown. No matter whether or not he's got that Intercontinental title or not.
He doesn't need it right now.
No, he doesn't. There's a rumor that he's finally going to have a trailer come out for his documentary, by the way.
That I can't wait.
And this past week, I wonder if what they're planning on doing now is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania because they had their little interaction backstage and I loved how he's like, yeah, I want you to be on the documentary, and Kevin Owens is holding the cue card up to the. He's like, no, don't do that, don't.
You give him blank right here. I don't need it.
And okay, so I'm gonna tell you, they always do these talk shows on WWE programming, and they've done it ever since Piper's Pit, and ever since Brother Love and the Barber Shop and all that. And I've always thought they're stupid. Okay, like every so often you get a good one. Like I liked Jericho's because he's like in the Jeritron 6000 or whatever, and then the Dean Ambrose one because it's like I got a plant, like just random plant shit, whatever.
Ambrose Asylum.
But when you see the
list too, didn't you?
Alexa. Well, and hers was a little different. They actually put 2 chairs up at the top of the ramp, and they tried to make it look and seem a little bit different. But and it was always them drinking coffee or whatever, whatever. But at least with Kevin Owens, you can tell that he tries to flavor it some because he'll be reading the cue cards.
Yes.
And he always gets to where he's got like one word left where he's like women's champion Sasha Banks. And I love that.
And I like too when he's like, I think one of my favorite ones is when he's like, why do you even order these chairs? He starts throwing chairs out in the ring. Why do you even bother?
Why do we even bring the chairs? that 1 week on NXT where he was like, you want a chair? And then he's like, no. He's like, why do we even bring these? And then like a couple weeks later on SmackDown, he's like, here, let me just get this out of here.
Yes. But it's like little things like that, though, just makes it hilarious. So I think that's him ad-libbing. I don't think that's...
Oh, no, yeah. I don't think he's got a script anymore, man. There actually are notes on those cue cards. So there's definitely something written, like taped on those.
But they let him go.
But yeah, he's always able to... And I think Sami Zayn is now. I think... I think that somewhere down the line...
I think they're letting Roman do a little bit, too.
Definitely. But I think that the reason why is because Vince is sitting there going... Okay, Paul, you say let these guys go. I'm going to let them go, but it's on you, Paul. Mm-hmm. And Paul's like, they can do it. Just let them go. Like, let them be them. Very impressed so far with even the fake accent on Apollo Crews.
Yeah.
I love what they're doing with him. I love that he's bought into that amped up to 11 version of the character that he pretty much was anyway. It's just now he's like I'm not going to use my fake accent anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak the way that I always speak.
Yeah.
I'm cool with all that. There's only one thing I want to see Zayn do at Mania. Get a guitar shot from Honky Tonk Man, Jeff Jarrett, Elias, and Road Dogg. Nah. I want to see Sami Zayn win Money in the Bank and become your next WWE champion.
Well, that probably won't happen. Not while Vince is in charge.
Paul won't be fired even if they do. Well, he'll just be taken off TV right now, like one Andrade, who apparently asked to be released.
And they said no.
And they said nope
because they know someone's gonna snatch him up.
All right. So you're absolutely right. Anybody would, right? Where's he going to be on the card? We talk about this every time someone leaves WWE, and every time someone goes, that guy's a main event talent. How many of them are in the main event right now?
None.
Well, Christian, Moxley, Jericho, Shawn Spears. He got a cup of coffee in the main event this week, but we hadn't seen him for months.
And he dyed his hair.
Yeah, well, he's got to do something. Yeah. Nobody else knows who he is anymore. So, shaved off his beard. So like, yeah, you can tell me that Andrade would be a main event talent, but you know what would happen? He goes to AEW, has phenomenal matches with Rey Fenix, but you know where they are? Middle of the card. Yeah.
Yes, he will, because they're
already booking him against Kenny Omega. So as soon as John Moxley goes on paternity leave, Christian is the next guy walking up. And why? Because AEW has proved that they don't have anybody that is the caliber of a John Moxley to take his place. Yeah. Orange Cassidy, they pushed right back down to lower mid-card. Darby Allin is apparently injured right now. If you're not in the main event, you can't be main event talent. No, that's not true. I mean, Kevin Owens is main event talent, but they know when to use him in main event talent when they're building towards something, right? And obviously Kevin could walk in tomorrow, win the world title, blow the roof off the place, and everybody be like, holy shit, what did I just watch on SmackDown?
Yep.
You know? Like, they've obviously done that twice now on Raw in the past 6 months. Randy Orton won the title at the pay-per-view, Drew McIntyre wins it on Monday night, and now The Miz wins it, and Bobby Lashley wins on Monday night. You know, so like, it's not like you can't have that amazing, holy crap moment. Now, I want to talk about Talking Smack. Okay. So yeah, I know. Luckily, we don't have to talk about Raw.
Yeah.
But Talking Smack, and by the way, Raw last week was a good show.
Yes, it was.
And something snapped in WWE where they're like, we're on the road to WrestleMania. We have no plan on who's going to face Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania right now. And I'll say this, I think it's going to be Brock Lesnar.
I think it's going McIntyre.
Right now, so the backstage talk.
I think they're saying Brock to SummerSlam.
Backstage talk is that Vince McMahon says that while he feels like Edge and Roman is a solid main event for one of the nights, they don't have anything set in stone for the other night, and they don't think that Lashley versus Drew is the main event.
Here's my question to you: if they do that, does Brock go over?
I wouldn't, because if you don't have him set to a long-term contract, like a year-long contract or whatever, you bring him in for one event, you have him work the shows up until it, like you have him show up at Fastlane and you have him destroy Lashley, like and have him come out and say, you wanted to face me, all right, Mania main event, you and me for the belt, and then you have Lashley sit there and do what Lashley does.
I won't do this.
I won't do this. So Talking Smack real quick, because Tino does want to get off of here, and I want to try to get him home early. They started it out with Paul Heyman basically getting like talked to by Kayla Braxton, and Kayla sits there and she goes so Paul, we just saw that Edge, Daniel Bryan, we might have Edge as the special enforcer at Fastlane. We might have this. I
did see that clip though.
And
I think I was about to talk about.
And it's exactly what I'm going to talk about. And Paul Heyman sits there and does only what Paul Heyman can do. And he sits there and says, Edge's best friend.
Yeah, I watched that.
Just skipped town because he knew that he was going to be in Roman Reigns' crossfire. That he knew that he was going to be taken out and decimated by your world champion. And it doesn't matter how many Christians that you need to put before the altar.
It was smooth.
And it's past Vince's bedtime when they film that. you
but
know
he doesn't sleep.
No, but he's in the gym at that point.
And Vince is watching. He watches everything.
But he lets them go on that show. And like later on, Sami Zayn comes out, and Sami Zayn sits there after the whole Roman Reigns talk and everything. Sami Zayn goes, Paul, I need to thank you. Because a couple weeks ago, you admitted to me. You said it in front of this crowd right here on Talking Smack. You said it, that when you were in charge of Raw, you were burying me. You said it. So I don't want to punch you in the face like I should want to. I want to thank you because you admitted to the world that the conspiracy against me is true.
Got it.
And then Paul's looking at him like, and then he goes, I respect you too much to not shoot you straight. To not give you what you need to hear, Sammy. And you're absolutely right. I went to Kevin Owens and I said, I want to put you in a tag team with Sami Zayn and have you go up against the Street Profits. And Kevin Owens said, I hate that guy. I've known him my entire life. I hate that guy. I don't want anything to do with him. Bury him in paperwork. So like Paul's trying to push a Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens thing, which is what I've already said, because here you have that main event talent that we've been talking about, and what the hell are you doing with them with Kevin Owens going into WrestleMania? Not a goddamn thing. Mm-mm. Like, we all thought it was going to be Jey Uso that he'd get at WrestleMania. Why? Because there's nobody else. But then on top of all of that, like now, if they're not going to put Daniel Bryan into the main event, they're going to put Daniel Bryan with Jey Uso. And we've already seen Daniel Bryan beat Jey Uso on multiple occasions, including getting him to tap out inside a steel cage, which means you know that Jey Uso, even though he's a main eventer at this point, is not on his level, right? It's going to be The Miz and Jeff Hardy. What, as Bobby Lashley's opponents, Chris Barrett? I don't know where you're going with that. I'm just, but if I had to make a bold, crazy prediction right now, I would say that with you having the possibility of 45,000 people in the stands, maybe you don't even announce who Bobby Lashley's opponent is. You just sit there and say Bobby Lashley's going to have an open challenge at WrestleMania for the world title. And hell, maybe you get Tyson Fury to come in and fight him. The Gypsy King boxing champion. You know, I could totally see them doing something like that because that's two legit fighters. You know, I'm not saying that they'll have Gypsy King knock him out or anything, but you fight to a draw. You know, like I could see them doing something like that. I could also see them having Brock Lesnar come in and having Bobby Lashley go over Brock Lesnar because it's the right decision. Yeah. I could also see them saying, "Hey, Goldberg, you got one more match this year. We already know you're in ring shape, but then you have a 4-minute main event." So, Tino, I really don't have anything else, so I'm going to cue up the music. I'm going to let you go ahead and take us out. And don't worry, I won't cue it to where I'm actually playing it first.
I want to say thank you guys for tuning in tonight. You can check him out on the Twitter machine at Podchat. You can check me out, HoodieFan91. You can check the show out, Potsy and Tino. You can check him out on the Insta, Rob Podchat.
Rob Podchat.
I'm SC Tino. You can check you out on TikTok. Oh yeah,
TikTok.
Do your TikTok.
I got a TikTok now, folks. I do my art streams. I do a time lapse.
Yeah.
So minute long time lapses. I did one yesterday. It took me 7 minutes to actually draw it. So it's only like a 37-second time lapse of me drawing John Wick.
Yeah, I saw that. That was cool.
Came out pretty good.
Yeah, it did.
So and then I tried to draw Sami Zayn. Didn't come out as good.
Yeah.
It came out all right. It's just you know, it's a real person, so it's hard to draw. But anyways, Rob Potsy Pochak on TikTok. Go ahead, give it a follow, and I will be giving away artwork and stuff like that from there.
On Facebook, we're Potsy and Tino.
Potsy and Tino Show.
Potsy and Tino Show. YouTube, you're watching it, but
yeah, you're watching it. It is Rob Pochak. Twitch is Rob Potsy Pochak.
Thanks again to Adam's House Cats for our theme song, which is the wrestling song. Again, you can catch that on iTunes for 99 cents. And as usual, in that big hill in Charlotte.
Are you sure?
There's somewhere up there. I was saying because Charlotte,
does Charlotte really have any hills?
On the big side of town, that's what he calls it. On the big side of town, in that big house, there's Ric Flair, and he is saying, "Woo! Call me Daddy. Peace."
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Be good.